Hi everybody, welcome to this new video in the IECHost series. Today we will have a look at the new features that I've added to the files directory set of options. These new features add write capabilities to different levels to my IECHost solution. First thing I will do, let's have a look at the directory of this disk. There's already a program on it. Let's scratch that one. As the warning message says, it's really recommended to get a disk backup before any changes made to a disk. And this is experimental non-native software, so I thought that was the minimum I could do to try and avoid a disaster. So what happens when a file is scratched or deleted from a disk? All sectors get flagged as not in use. So there is a resource release process that goes on, and that's dependent on the length of the file in a linear way, pretty much. That's why it took 9 seconds to delete that file. The directory listen is not automatically refreshed, and that's due to the fact that if there is a very long listing, this might not be the best course of action, so it's left to the user to refresh the directories. As you can see now, there is no item to display. We've already seen the export PRG feature, so let's have a look at the import one now. And again, same warning pops up. Let's re-import EasyProg. By the way, these options reuse the DOS protocol, so everything is done in a native way, and therefore is quite slow compared to the warp disk imaging option that I've shown before. But this is hopefully the most compatible way to do things. And again, if a faster method is required for doing these things, there will also be a warp load equivalent of this warp save option, with which a whole D64 can be written back to a disk, and that will be much faster than importing files by one, because the D64 can be prepared with a different set of tools, and then once it's ready, finalized, written back. Again, let's have a look at the directory now. And now I'm going to do something that is quite dangerous. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing it, but the idea is that while I'm writing a file to the disk, I will unplug IECHost. As you can see, PRG import file, the communication error. Now if I replug IECHost and access the directory, there is this file that's not being closed. A safe way to recover from this scenario is to validate the disk. Again, this is an operation that changes the disk contents. What the disk validation does, it removes dirty files from the directory listing and deallocates the resources they are using. Basically flags the sectors where the file was laid out as free. Let's issue the directory listing again, and as you can see, the validate command has got rid of that unclosed file. I'm not going to go through the format disk option because that causes the head bumping, and I'd rather avoid that. I'll get back to that option because I'm pretty sure there is a clever way to format a disk without causing a head bump. As you can see, the login tab has got a few details about what's going on. This is the failed attempt when I unplugged the cable, the USB cable. That's pretty much about it. Thanks for watching. Bye.